welcome to your practice. We have a great class in store for us today. We're going to focus on the health and resiliency of our spine. So we'll focus on creating stability and mobility, which are two very important principles for our spinal column. To begin, let's start on our back. Find a comfortable position. You can start with your knees bent if you prefer. Bottoms of your feet to the mat, and just take these first few moments to find your breath and settle in. Okay, relax down into your space. Take your arms by your side. Feel the contact points of your body and your mat. And let's find our arrival time, this transition. So whatever it is you've been doing in your day or what you have to do after this class, just put that aside for now and become powerfully present in your body and your skin. Take a few deep cleansing breaths so that you can start to shift out of your over-reactionary mind or your thinking mind and come into your experiencing body. Cultivate a sense of curiosity and awareness around how you feel, scanning your body, noticing the quality and the feel of your breath at this point. And begin to develop your inhalation and your exhalation, creating a little length there, stretching that out, while maintaining comfort. So nothing that is overworking or working too hard, too much effort. We just want to find a nice, easy, breezy breath. Very simple, really clean, thin, and nice. And ideally, we're breathing in through our nose. If you can breathe out the nose as well, that's great. If you're more comfortable to breathe out your mouth, you can do that as well. And so to begin, what I want us to focus on is more fluid motion, dynamic movement and stretching for our spine. So one knee at a time. Bring your knees in closer to your chest and then place one hand on each knee or shin there. And keep the knees above the hips for now and just feel the spine and its imprint that it's making on the mat. And then as you inhale, the knees will move away from your body and the arms will be straight. And as you exhale, you'll bend the elbows, you'll pull the thighs in closer to the belly. And then again, inhale, arms go straight, knees move away from your body. And then exhale, pull them in. So Apanasana. Right away stimulating our low back, our lower breathing space, encouraging a good detoxifying breath. We're increasing our circulation down into our abdomen, into our low back. So really, really good sequence for increasing the efficiency, the effectiveness of our digestion, the biorhythm of our diaphragmatic breathing, and the rest of our respiratory organs. So just continue a few more rounds on your own. Inhaling, knees move away, and then exhale, bring them in a little closer. And then adding on from here, the next time you inhale, go ahead and stretch your heels toward the ceiling and reach your arms overhead. And if you're tighter in the shoulders, the arms might not go all the way behind you. And then as you exhale, once again, grab onto each leg and draw your thighs in. Again, inhale. This is a nice fluid motion that should feel good. Try not to rush it. So as we lengthen out the breath, we also lengthen out our movement. Let's take 3 more rounds. And draw the knees in. And then 1 foot at a time, bring it back down to your mat. And then continuing with movement from here. Take your hands by your side and then pull the knees in again 1 at a time. So activating the anterior abdominals. Stay here and just find the length of your spine. Feel the ease of your spine. And then one toe at a time, 1 foot at a time, you're gonna lower down toward the floor. It may not go all the way down to the floor. If it can, just give it a little tap and then bring it back up. And then the left foot goes down, give it a little tap, bring it back up. So again, if the foot is just not comfortable coming all the way down, then just go to that place where it feels like it's plenty. You feel the lower abdominals engaging, okay? And then just bring the leg back. It's not a big deal. Maybe inhaling as you lower, and then exhaling as you bring the leg back. And let's just continue to move like this. If you need to take a break, take a break. Just do about 6 more seconds here. Finish out on the left side so we're balanced. And then lowering 1 foot at a time, bring the feet back down to the floor. Just take a moment there. Probably feeling a lot of warmth, a lot of energy there in the hip creases, hip flexors, and the lower abdominals. So just take a moment and just let that all settle. Okay, and then just continuing on, we're gonna target now the posterior chain, our strengthening our back body. So bring your feet outer hip distance apart. I like to take my feet a little bit wider, wider than hip distance apart, almost as close to coming out to the edges of my mat, because I tend to be a little tighter in my quads and in my hip flexors, and so this just gives me a little more accessibility to find the lift of my backside off of my mat. Hands by your side, and then from here, as you inhale, you're going to lift your hips up and you're going to lift the arms up and overhead. And the chin is staying off of our chest. And then exhale, bring the hands back down, lower the hips back down. Try to get that movement synced up with your breath. Inhale, and if we can start to engage the movement with our breathing, it really helps the body move with more ease. The breath helps to connect your limbs and your trunk. So the breath helps you connect the legs and the arms into the stabilization of your spine. Good, let's do 2 more. Inhale, push through the feet, lift up, reach the arms. Again, remember to keep the chin away from the chest so the neck is nice and relaxed. We're not crowding our shoulders up by the ears. Let's do 1 more. Feeling a lot of movement along the spine. It feels really nice for the back. And then just come down. We're just real gentle and just stay there for a moment. And if it feels good to you, you might take the feet even wider and just real lightly move the knees side to side. Okay, and then we're going to get our brain involved here. So bend your knees. Lift up your feet 1 at a time. Okay, so the knees will start stacked above your hips. And then the arms are going to reach straight up overhead. Okay, feel even like a nice stretch there on the back of the shoulders. So you're lengthening the fingertips up. And then again, the chin is off of the chest so that we're not, tucked in. And it's hard to breathe when you're tucked in like this. Give your neck some space. Let the back of the head rest. Okay, and from here, you're going to lower the right arm behind you and you're going to reach the left leg forward. See, I even had to think about it just to say it. And then you're going to come back to center. And now opposite. It's going to be right leg stretches forward, left arm reaches back. And then center. So continue like that. Let's left leg, right arm. We're working cross body here. Really good for the brain and the neuropathic patterning. For the body, for the mind. Right arm, left leg. And same thing here. If it becomes too much and you need to take a break, just pause, take a break. Continue. Inhale, we lengthen the right arm, or the left arm and the right leg. Exhale, bring it back to center. And then inhale, right arm, left leg, and bring back to center. And then take the knees in for a moment. If it feels good, maybe a little bit of side to side, kind of releasing through the low back. That feels nice. So a lot of stimulation, a lot of of energy, a lot of warmth. We're waking up our core, waking up our center. Okay, and then so when we talk about our spine, we're talking about all the musculature and soft tissue that lines the length and the perimeter of our spine, so front, sides, and back. And then from here, go ahead and just release the bottoms of your feet down. Okay, and we're gonna make our way on up, so roll to one side, or however you wanna get there, just transition, take your time. We're gonna come all the way up onto all fours, and we'll continue finding some movement for our spine. Coming into all fours, spread the fingers nice and wide, and stretch the palms open. Bring your knees underneath your hip points and feel really strong and stable through your spinal column. So feel the front abdominals engaging, feel the ribs pulling together, and then just find a place that's real relaxed and neutral for your spine to start. Okay, so we'll start with our cat-cow breathing, really hydrating the spine. So as you inhale, just let the tailbone lift up, drop the belly, and stretch the chest. You might even lift the chin slightly. Really press the floor away with the hands. And then as you exhale, take the tailbone down, pull the navel up toward the front of your spine, and draw your chin closer to the chest as you round through the upper back. Really stretch and broaden there across shoulder to shoulder. Inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, stretch the chest, the heart forward and up. And then exhale, round. So you can see how slow I'm moving through this. I'm really trying to focus on lengthening the breath and lengthening the movement and just feeling my breath feeding all along my spinal column. And as we breathe in and out through our nose, we want to be sure that we're allowing the back of our jaw and our throat and our neck to be real soft, so there's no strain there. Good, and then just find a place that's neutral. And then from here, you can continue with cat-cows, or we'll move into just a slightly more intense version of that. I say intense, but it feels good. Just, you can try it on, see how it feels, and if it doesn't particularly feel nice to you on this day, then maybe you stick with just cat-cows like we're doing, okay? But from here, same thing, you inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops. And this time, as you exhale, I want you to start to really round and draw your hips back toward the direction of your heels. The elbows will bend toward the floor. You come into this little like child's pose position. And then as you inhale, the forearms stay to the floor. You're scooping the chest forward, eventually straightening through the arms and coming up into your cow pose again. Exhale, you're rounding through your spine, the back body, the ribs, reaching the hips back toward the heels. Maybe the elbows come down, maybe they don't, and then just come forward and through. So any amount of this motion that you can find, just articulate the spine and just start to feel this movement enveloped inside of your breath. So it's like the breath is the envelope and the movement is the content within the envelope. Good, and then just find pause, just a neutral spine. And then again, one more strengthening piece here. Begin by taking the right foot back. Okay, that kind of feels nice. You get a little calf stretch there. Press the ball of the foot down, reach through the heel. And then the left arm is going to reach forward. The thumb will be up to the ceiling. If you're comfortable with it, start to lift your right toes up off of the mat. Really press down through the left shin and the right hand. And then release, left hand down, right knee down. And we'll switch it out. Take the left foot back. Give it a nice stretch there for a moment. And then feel the abdominal wall drawing up and in slightly there, so you're stabilizing through your center, through your core, your container. Right arm forward, thumb will face the ceiling. And if you're comfortable with it, extend and lift the left leg. Doesn't have to be high. Feel length, working cross body, and then release down. Okay, let's do the same thing other side. Now I'm gonna leave it up to you if you wanna just hold here for maybe, 3 to 5 seconds. Or maybe you just want to work on switching out, alternating side to side, okay? Either one is great and beneficial, so just choose what feels good, what you're needing today, a little more movement, or maybe you need a little more stillness and quiet and strength. seconds or so here. Whatever you're doing, continue with that. Be sure to keep your gaze slightly forward rather than looking underneath of you. That will help strengthen the upper spine. And then wherever you are, just come down to hands and knees. Okay, and then from there, we're going to bring ourselves up to a stand. So if you're close to the wall or to your chair, like however you want to do it, come on up, take your time. Okay, and we'll continue to work a little more through the spine and the standing poses. So bring yourself to your chair. I'll probably be moving my chair around a little bit here to make sure that you guys can have a really good visual. But to start, we'll come into a nice fold over position. Now I'm going to invite you to bring your hands a little bit lower onto the seat of the chair. But depending on the height of the chair and if you're taller, if you're shorter, all of those things matter. So you want to be somewhat comfortable. I'm actually going to turn my chair this way. And what I like to do is I always like to grab the outside edges of the chair, the surface, whatever you're working on. So start to walk the feet back. Grabbing onto the edges of the chair helps to create a little more space in the upper back. So you can, there's this outward rotation of the arms, right? So the arms are rotating out slightly. Elbow creases are coming slightly, forward. And with that action, with the arm bones rolling out and away, we get a little more space in the upper shoulders, upper back, and more space for our neck. And then just take a moment here and breathe. Again, if it's too much with the hands to the seat of the chair, then take the hands up to maybe the back of the chair. All right, that's a great option as well. Both have value. It just kind of depends on where you're at. So take a moment there. And lengthen out through the torso. So feel the ribs elongating. There's some strength happening in the arms. And then walk the feet a little bit wider. Take your feet a little bit wider. And I want you to begin bending the right knee, and then re-straightening, and then bending the left knee a little bit more, and then alternating between those two. So we're just getting in a little bit to the hips. This is really good to move and pump the synovial fluid in the hip joint. Okay, so just move side to side, bending one knee and straightening through the opposite. The pelvis will move side to side. You might even start to feel a nice little stretch along the side body of the straight leg. How's your breathing? Check in with your jaw. We want softness. Nothing rigid. Nothing forced. Just nice and easy. Bend your knees if you're really restricted or tight in the backs of your legs. Okay? And then bring the feet a little bit closer. Take your time. We're just going to walk the feet up closer toward the seat or the back of our chair. And then come all the way on up, taking your time. Okay. And moving into a little bit of side bending, so lateral flexion for our spine. I am going to bring my right hip profile to the surface of my chair. I'm going to reach to the back of the chair for now. And I'm going to bring my feet outer hip distance apart, so a little bit wider. I like a nice solid stance, right? If you prefer to bring and step the feet together, that's fine. Be comfortable with the feet placement, okay? And then from there, I want you to take your left hand and just place it to the back of the head, okay? So hand resting there in the back of the head, and just, feel that back of the skull kind of pressing back into that hand. So often we tend to be a little bit more forward with our head, with our chin, so feel that resting back there. And we're going to keep our hip points and our abdominals and our chest pretty square and level, with the front of your mats or front of the room, however you're situated at home. And just take an inhale there, just really lengthen up out of the waistline. And then with your exhale, I want you to side bend over toward your surface. Side bend over. So now here the tendency can be for this left hip and left arm and left shoulder to kind of round forward, but I want to keep this lateral, so we should feel the stacking of the hips, of our ribs, of our shoulders, of our lungs. So we're elevating this left elbow toward the ceiling, and we're just taking a side bend, and then you're going to come back out of it. And we're going to move through that a couple times. So inhale here, exhale, bend, stay open through the chest and the belly, stay here, breathe, inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Stay here, inhale, feel the ribs lengthening away from the waistline. Exhale, side bend. You're contracting the ribs over the hip bone on the right. Inhale here, lengthen, breathe into the left side body. And then exhale, come back up. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. Stay here, breathe, and irrigate left side body. Just feed the side body with your breath. And then exhale, come back. Relax the hand down. Take a moment, maybe even close the eyes so you can really feel into the left side, feel into the right side, and just notice that difference. Okay, and then open up the eyes, and we'll go to the other side. So I'll move my chair. I'm going to bring my left hip profile to the chair now. Okay, I'm about a half an arm's distance or so from the chair, giving myself space to lean, and then feet just comfortable, hip distance, outer hip distance. Maybe you want to step them together, but because we're leaning, I would suggest taking a little wider stance, giving yourself space to move the pelvis. Okay, right hand, just bend the elbow, bring the hand back to the head, and again, just feel what it feels like to lean the head back slightly. Keep the chin lifted, and just find that nice tall posture. Inhale there, breathe in. Exhale, side bend. So the hips are displacing to the right a little bit. Inhale here into the right ribs. And then exhale, bring yourself back. Okay, let's do that twice more. Inhale here. Exhale, the elbow starts to pull to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, back to center. Really feel the balance underneath your feet. Inhale. Exhale. Stay here, breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Nice. Doesn't that feel good? Release the hand down. Side bending. It always feels so, so nice. Okay. I'm going to come back to the seat of my chair. I'm going to turn my chair so that the seat is facing me. Okay, and again, just depending on your height, depending on the height of the chair, you might, if you have yoga blocks, you could always place yoga blocks if you need it a little bit higher. Or again, you could have the option of putting your hands on the back of your chair. So just kind of feel this motion that we're moving into. Just feel it out. Again, we never want to feel like we're straining, so think about this as effort without strain, right? Effort without strain, effort without pain. We just want it to be nice and skillful, but comfortable, okay? So you'll start with your right foot forward, and you're going to step your left foot back, okay? And to begin, place your hands onto the seat of the chair, okay? And adjust your feet. I like to take my right foot a little bit more to the right, a little bit wider stance. Give my pelvis a little more space to rotate forward, okay? Hands to the seat of the chair. I want you to bend through this right knee just a little bit there, and then inhale, lift your chest, and then as you exhale, you're gonna round. So we're coming back into that cat-cow motion, okay, with our spine. We did this on all fours, and now we're just doing it in this asymmetrical standing pose with the legs. And I just want you to feel the difference in through the hips. Okay, and then you might find that you want to get your right leg involved. It might feel good to maybe, straighten the leg as you pull the belly up and round. And then as you exhale, you might find that bending the knee and then sending the chest forward might feel nice. Okay, so just know that that's an option. So find this spinal movement with the legs in an asymmetrical position. And then let's come back with the right knee bent slightly. And then take your hands to the leg and then bring yourself on up. Okay. So here we are, balancing, right? Maybe hands to hips. If you're close to a wall, you can bring your hand out to the wall. Or again, maybe you want to keep one hand onto the back of your chair. And I want to work on now the upper back. Okay, so we have a tendency to get a little bit rounded through the upper spine and even the head coming forward in the back of our neck. And so we want to observe the natural curvatures of the spine, and we want to try and strengthen our upper back and open through our chest, okay? So from here, take the arms out nice and wide, pull the elbows apart from one another, spread the fingers, and just open and stretch the front of your chest, front of shoulders, anterior wall. Just inhale here. As you exhale, fold the palms down onto the top of your right thigh. Just allow yourself to round just a little bit. And then inhale, come all the way up, reach the arms out. And then exhale, come down. So we're strengthening the right leg as well. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more round. Inhale. And then hold here on the exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale, relax the hands down. Okay, and then step your left foot forward and step your right foot back. I'm going to take my left foot a little bit wider. That's more comfortable for me. I'm going to start out by bending the left knee and bringing my hands to the surface of the chair. Okay, and then from here, you're going to inhale, lift the chest up, draw the shoulders down your back, lift your chin. And then as you exhale, you're going to scoop the belly in and you're going to round through your back. And then just know that the motion of the spine will be different in all of us. And just find that movement of flexion as you round and extension as you lengthen and open your chest. And same thing here, if you want to get this left leg involved, as you exhale, maybe you want to straighten it a little more and really pull up and back with the back body. Okay, and then as you inhale, maybe you're dropping through the knee a little bit, bringing the chest forward and through. Feel the movement of the shoulder blades on the upper back. Okay, so feel that broadening and that rounding as they protract away from one another, and then feel them retract as you come forward and open the chest. Good. And then from here, keep the knee bent, slowly take your hands to the thigh, just bring yourself on up. Okay. And then you'll cactus the arms here. The left leg is bent. Release, lengthen the inner elbows apart from one another so the chest is nice and open. And feel the shoulder blades on the back body come together. Inhale here. And then exhale, come forward, rest the hands on the thigh. Inhale, come back up, lift and lengthen, really working strength and stability in the spine. Exhale. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale. Stay here. Exhale. One more cycle of breath. In. And relax the hands by your side. Step your back foot forward. Okay. Now, normally I like to come to a seated position before we go back down to the mat, but because this is a shorter class, we're going to go right back down to the mat and do a few final stretches and then close class. But if you're feeling like you need a transition, totally get it. Sit down in your chair and just take a few moments just to be seated and still, okay? And then meet us on the floor. You ready? Or hit pause. That's a great thing about doing yoga at home. Okay, so we're going to come down onto our mat. And then to begin, let's come all the way onto our back. And I'm going to have a blanket here just in case for like a little pillow for my head, if you'd like to take that as well. It's always a good option. Okay, roll onto your back. Start with your knees bent. I'm just going to do a nice little twisting here. And then from here, roll over onto your left side. Okay, roll onto your left side. You have a pillow there, and I take my hand, so this bottom arm is going to kind of come under and also help support the head. So if you don't have a blanket at home, it's your pillow. Okay, just like you're sleeping in bed. Bend your knees, and then from here, take your right arm out forward. On the inhale, we're going to reach the right arm up, 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 up. As we exhale, you're going to reach it back. Now, this is a pretty big motion, so it's going to be difficult for you to bring that arm all the way back, and that's okay. And then bring it all the way back and just release. So we're just finding some dynamic movement here. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach it back. Any amount. Inhale, come all the way back. And then exhale, just pause and settle. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, connect. One more like this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. going to separate the legs. So take the right knee and the right foot and just bring it back. So we're staggering the legs, but that doesn't mean like you're trying to jam the knee down to the floor or anything like that. Just let the foot rest to the floor, let the knee just kind of be in the thigh, be where it is. And then here, inhale, you're gonna reach up, and now you're gonna find a little more space. Exhale, let that arm maybe come back to the floor. And then inhale, come back, and exhale. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, this time we're gonna hold it. So inhale, exhale. You might even want to take your opposite arm out and just let the arms be wide, or maybe the elbows are bent. And what you're gonna start to feel is a little bit of like psoas here. So breathing deeply down into your lower breathing space. And you can always change the positioning of the right leg. So maybe taking the right foot even wider would help this be a little more comfortable for you. Just breathe. Good, last one. And then wherever you are, just start to gather yourself back together. Roll onto your side, okay? And then from here, we'll go straight into the other side. Okay, so just come, flip on over. You're gonna come to your right side. Lie on your right side, knees will be bent. Right arm is going to be underneath your head like a pillow, okay? Or you have an actual pillow, that's fine too. Left arm reaches straight out. Okay, keep the knees bent. Inhale, extend, lift up. Exhale, reach that arm back. You're gonna feel a little different side to side. Inhale and exhale. Again, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. So opening up through upper breathing space, chest, one more here. You're even invigorating all the cells of your lungs, respiratory organs, getting into the intercostal muscles, the muscles that live in between the ribs. And now from here, stagger the legs. So bring the left leg a little bit further back, and then inhale, lift the arm up. Exhale, release it back. Maybe the back of the shoulder comes to the floor, maybe not. Inhale, back. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale, finish the twist. Inhale. Feel how the breath moves. Exhale. Good, one more here. Inhale. Exhale, and then let's hold this one. If you want to reorganize the arms, maybe bending the elbows, if you need to reorganize the legs, right? So the legs are offset. And we're starting to get a nice stretch here in the fibers of our psoas muscle. The psoas muscle is at the upper inner thigh, and it moves across the front of the pelvis and then wraps back and attaches into the back of our spine. And it actually moves through the diaphragm. So it's a very influential muscle. And we just want to lengthen it and open it. And it tends to be contracted and tight and shortened due to the amount of sitting that we all tend to do. So just take a few moments to allow those fibers to lengthen and just finding some nourishing input for your breathing pattern, your breathing organs. Good, and then slowly bring yourself all the way back onto your side. And we'll just do a few final stretches that are going to feel really nice. So just stay lying on your right side, and then reach your right arm straight up, and then it's like a pillow. And then the legs are straight. And then take your left arm and reach it overhead, and with the right hand, grab onto the wrist. And the knees might be a little bit bent, that'll help you. And just gently encourage the left arm to continue to from your torso, and then reach and stretch through the heels. Just get nice and long along the left side body. Take a couple deep breaths there. So you're gently pulling on the left wrist with the right hand, and then you're stretching and reaching through that left heel, the top heel. Good. And then release, roll onto your back, and then roll onto the other side. So now you're lying on your left side. Left arm reaches out. Right arm overhead. Reach up. And then left hand's going to grab the right wrist. You're going to stretch through the heels. You're going to gently encourage a reaching of the right hand. Remembering effort without strain. Just breathe in. I'm feeling a really nice stretch along the rib cage, lower waistline, and all the way up into the upper intercostal muscles. Again, those muscles between the ribs and through connective tissue, they're connected into the lungs. So that, you're invigorating and stimulating all the cells of the lungs, opening up and just increasing your capacity to breathe, increasing our blood flow, our circulation, encouraging all of our systems to function optimally with fresh blood flow, fresh oxygenated blood. Good, and then just release, roll onto your back. Almost there, folks. Lie down on the back, and then interlace your fingers and start with the elbows bent, and then just give a nice stretch and lengthening of the inner elbows as you press the palms away from you, and then really reach through the heels. Really reach through the heels, just get nice and long. Take a few deep breaths there. And then any amount you can, stretch your left heel a little bit longer. So really reach and press in the right. You might bend a little bit. You're going to feel the pelvis kind of get a little bit wonky. Just reach through the heel. And then switch that out. Press through the right heel, bend the left knee a little bit. And just reach, 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 reach. Good. One more each side. Press left heel. Good. Press right heel. And then come back. Bend the elbows, relax your arms by your side. It might feel good to kind of like, I don't even know what to call it. You just kind of like wiggle the pelvis a little bit, like side to side, side to side, side to side. Just kind of release. Just kind of maybe even roll the feet out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And then from there, you just kind of settle down. Arms by your side. Legs relaxed. If it feels better to have your knees bent, or even just taking a blanket roll underneath the knees for support, that's going to help create a little bit more ease in the low back. Okay, so that's always a good option. Either way, relax your hands by your side, close your eyes. Let go of any kind of restriction that you might have on your breathing and just let your breath be natural. And come back to that curiosity and that awareness that you cultivated at the beginning of the class. Do a body scan and just notice how you feel. I feel a lot of kind of tingly, vibrant sensation, kind of good, productive energy kind of coursing through my body. We created a lot of good space between our bones, a good amount of stability and mobility. And if you have the time, remain here. Just continue to lie on your back and take a nice, peaceful rest. Just absorbing in the calm and the stillness. Okay, just allowing this time to be one of the most productive things that you do all day. So allow the stillness to counter all of the busyness and the stress that we tend to take on and be exposed to throughout our day. Okay, and then if this is all you have, if you need to get going and move on, I understand. You'll slowly start to bring yourself awake, bringing more energy into your body, into your breath. And if you are remaining in Shavasana, just ignore me, turn me off, continue to be in a restful place. And as always, I thank you for practicing. yourself. Okay. Slow down, pay attention, right? Awareness always precedes change. So you're doing everything you need to do to stay healthy and well and vibrant. Thank you so much. Be well.